Hey, 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 what's up? I hope you are doing well and your life is going better than ever before. We have wars, we have tension in China and Taiwan, so it's not a very good situation to be in life now. Yeah, and over the last week, I have received a lot of questions. I will be answering all of your questions, whether that you have asked me during the week or that you are going to ask me now in the chat or in the comments. So comment and tell me what do you think, what is your questions, what do you have in mind, and in the chat as well. I will be following that. And but first, before we do it, I need to know if everything is fine, if you hear me clearly and there's no problem with the voice or with the video, because it's the first time I do streaming indoor, like with this setup. So I am curious to know. Tell me, is everything is fine? Do you hear me? And there's no problem with the voice? Or I can just try to find out myself. Let's have. Yeah, it works well. So I think everything is good. Let's dive in and let me answer some of your questions before the previous questions until you start to ask me your questions now regarding residence permit in Georgia, whatever you have in mind. I dedicated 30 minutes of my life to you guys, so I will be happy to answer any questions you have in mind. Let's start with one of the questions that I have received, and it's from Sana Ghafour. Sana was asking me regarding Pakistani nationals, and she was wondering if there's a way for a Pakistani national to get a residence permit in Georgia. Well, Sana, for Pakistani, Indian, and even Egyptian, I'm Egyptian by the way, it's not easy in some countries to get residence permit. But the situation is different for each nationality. But for Pakistani, specifically for Pakistani nationals, it's harder than some other nationalities, like some harder than Egyptians, harder than, let's say, Chinese even. Because we have this discrimination, which is practiced and imposed by the Georgian authorities against some nationals of some citizens or some citizens of some countries. This, I think, goes back to the status of the country and the nationals and the economical situation and political situation in these countries. Like in Pakistan, you have near to you is Afghanistan, and all of the developments that happened in the past decades for Al Qaeda and this terrorism and stuff. So the governments in some countries, if you are seeking a residence permit, some type of residence permit, they just get. I am not going to investigate behind that person. I'm not going to do any work. I will just relax and reject. So this is the issue for many nationals and many citizens of many countries, especially the countries which is in Asia and Africa. It's not only for Pakistani, it's for some Indians the same. For Iranian, for example, for Iranian, it's kind of the same situation as Pakistani. So yeah, it's hard and there is no guarantee, but here is the trick. During the last couple of years, I have helped even some Pakistanis to get residence permit. We have done this service for them through nomadentrepreneur.io, and we have got them this residence permit. But we found that some ways to gain the national the residence permit is better than other ways. For example, as I talked in the video that was published on Monday, that we have many types of residence permit. One type is like work residence permit on the basis of work, and second one is studying residence permit, which is a residence permit for studying purposes. Second, on the basis of third one on the basis of owning a real estate, and fourth one on the basis of investing. Fifth one is on the basis of marriage. For Pakistani and for some citizens, for the citizens of this third world countries, getting residence permit on the basis of studying is the cheapest option, and also it is more, the risk is more or less than other options. For example, if you are going to get a residence permit on the basis of investing $300,000, you still don't have any guarantee in any of these types. You have no guarantee that you will be getting this residency. So the better way to do it is to do it with less risk and less cost possible. So if you are going to apply for a residence permit as a student, you got some documents from a university, you are studying a master, you are studying a bachelor, the risk is less than any other option. And the cost is also less than some other options as well. So you apply for an university, you get this documents that certify that you are a student of this university, and then after that, you just apply for the residence permit, and you can then find the answer. If the answer is yes, then congratulations. If the answer is no, you didn't lose too much money. And this is the most cost effective way for citizens of some nationals. And I think the reason behind that, the Georgian government or this international student community growing so fast in the country, and these international students are bringing more money in the country and in the economy than many other areas of the economy and many other sections. So they don't reject too many people who are a student or coming for studying purposes in the country. I think this is the reason, because if they started to reject too many people, this section or this part of the economy will collapse, and these universities will not have enough students, international students, and they will lose a lot of money. So this is one of the reason. I think the other reason is, if you apply for a student residence permit, you do not qualify for a citizenship by any way. There is no way that you can qualify for a citizenship or even for a permanent residence permit, because you just are a student in the country. But you can, after that, let's say if you got married to a Georgian, then Georgian citizen, then yeah, you qualify for a permanent residency, and then after that, you qualify for the citizenship. But as long as you are a student, you do not qualify for anything. You do not qualify for permanent residence permit. You do not qualify for citizenship. So I think for you, Sana, if you are going to start a business, for this Pakistani nationals, if you are going to start a business and then you are going to apply, there are some requirements that the government require for you to get this residence permit. One of the requirements that you should have a 50,000 jail as a turnover for the business during the past 12 months. So you need to have a business which is operating already in the country for 12 months and has this turnover which is 50,000 jail. It's not a big money, and in terms of business, in business you can make them easily, but yeah, so you need first to start the business and then operate it for 12 months to make this return, which is the 50,000 jail. And then after that, you just apply after that. And still, there is a risk. Still, after all of that, there is a risk that no one can guarantee that you will get this residence permit. So the short way and the fast way, more cost-effective way is to apply as a student. What we have experienced also, that the age, it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how old you are at all. So whatever, if you are 40, 45, I got a student accepted for and he's 60 years old in a student in a university, which was, and he was just studying bachelor degree, so it's not a PhD or something. Yeah. So let me have some coffee. Yeah, guys, this answer I think is general for Pakistani, for Indian, for some African nationals, for too many nationals that are not included in the 95 countries list, that citizens of this 95 country can enter Georgia visa free for a full year. So if your country not on this list, what I am saying applies to you. So you need just, it's not only for Pakistani, for many, many nationalities. Let's find out about another question. We have another question from a gentleman. His name is, yeah, Serestin Sanenum. Serestin, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Serestin. And I have got your question about, yeah, would owning shares of a Georgian company bought through a broker on the Georgian Stock Exchange be valid for the 300K USD investor visa? Same question for company bonds or term deposits in the bank. Well, the short and direct answer to your question, Serstin, is yes. It applies, but there are a lot of complications and details. We have when we try to find them, like when we try to get a proper answer to this question, which is should be like it will make like a 20 minutes video. We have two full pages of details regarding this one question you asked. So direct answer is yes, but there are many details that you need to consider before doing this move. If you are interested to know about this detail, we can offer that through online consultation from our website with me or with our lawyer Ketivan. So yeah, you can book this online consultation, and then we can provide you with all of these details and complication, because this live streaming will not even be enough to give you a detailed answer, because we are already 14 minutes in on the online streaming. So let's just move on. Yeah, we have another question from, yeah, we have another question from, so yeah, okay. I have a question about a gentleman asked me on the email, and I don't want to share his details because it was on the email. He asked me if opening a restaurant is a successful business in Georgia, and I will answer that question definitely. Okay, guys. So, opening a restaurant in Georgia, because some people come with these stereotypes about business. Like there is one major belief in the between the most of the people that when you start a business in a country and you start this business related to food industry, that the risk of losing or failure is not high. Yeah, this can apply in some conditions, but if you are entering a new market and this new market you don't have enough information, you don't know even the competition. So instead of asking me the question of is opening a restaurant a successful business in Georgia, because you might do some research or you can say it this way, which would be better. Is there an opportunity in the in the food industry or in the restaurant area of in the country? Is there still an opportunity? And this question, when you ask it, not to me, but when you ask it to yourself, you might think, yeah, what type of restaurant would it be? Like, which type of meals are you going to serve? Western type, fast food, Egyptian, like Arabian, Turkish, Indian. There are many details, and for each, when you choose this cuisine and you decide that this will be my main cuisine that I will be focusing in, you can just try to find to do a market research and to find about the competition, and where should you open this, which location are you going to open, in what area, and who are your type of customers, who are the people you are going to serve, and how can you reach to them, and how can you provide them with high and better quality than your competitors. There are a lot of details. So is opening a restaurant in Georgia a good business? uh, Now I'm not sure, especially there are high competition and you need to invest a lot of money. If you would take my advice, and if you are thinking about this doing such kind of business, I would advise you not to start on a big scale. Start very very small with just the most necessary equipments and efforts. Let me explain. A gentleman came to me like in like 1 year ago, and he said, Hossam, I have $80,000 to invest, and I'm thinking to open a restaurant. It should be like an Indian restaurant. So what do you think? I said, okay, listen, you shouldn't invest all of this money like at one time. Rent a place, and then after that just start to do spend on marketing, renovation of this place, and start to do promotion, hire staff, and all of that at once. I would advise you first to start to do this business as without having like a restaurant, a physical restaurant. You could just, and this is possible in a country like Georgia, you can just rent an apartment, and then you have all your kitchen of the apartment, your kitchen, and you can start to offer your meals and services on applications like Walt, Glovo, and Bolt Food. There are many applications that you can offer your service on this in Georgia. So I would just go open this. I will prepare a menu. I will sign up in those application. I will do some good designs for the menu. I will try to make my meals better than the competitors. I will do a Facebook page and try to do some promotion to reach to my customers. I will try to target my customers whether on Snapchat, whether on Facebook, whether on TikTok, whether on YouTube, whatever where you find your customer bases. And then after that, I will start at this very small scale with $1,000, $1,500. You can start at this very small stage, which is better for you than investing all of this money. And then I will see. I will just see what is the response. Am I getting a lot of customers? Am I getting a lot of good reviews? Is it generating some income? Is it not? If it is not working, then you didn't lose too many time, or you didn't lose too much money. But if it is working, then it's a very good step that you are not going to start with no income. You are not going to spend all of your money with no income. You are not going to rent a place and to do renovation, design, hire staff with no income at all. So this means when you start and you have this base, small customer base and segment on these apps, you can start the restaurant, and then you can even still generate some income from this small base on this app. And when you start the restaurant, you can connect the restaurant to the app, and then that's it. You have your customer now who trusts you and who prefer to get your services, and then you didn't spend too much money or time. This is a way which is I prefer to start any business, especially in a country which you are new to. You don't have enough information. If I'm not new to the country, for me, when I started a business I'm today, like in 2020, we started a real estate company, and in 2020 I completed 4 years in the country of Georgia. So I have a very good understanding about this real estate industry. I have very good customer and client database on this for this industry. So it was easier for me to start to generate some income and to start to do some sales as a real estate company agency. So yeah, this is the best way to start any business. And now let me just try to find out more of your questions, and then I think it will be the last question that I am going to answer. Yeah, from the comments, yeah, we have one comment about yeah, we have one comment about yeah. So the question is, do you think Georgia, the Georgian government, have done a great job in terms of not getting involved on the sanctions that the EU and the United States and Canada uh, put on Russia? Well, for, from my point of view, I think Georgian government have done good that they didn't get themselves involved on this unfriendly list of countries to Russia. Because guys, yeah, I understand that are some Georgian and locals are pissed off the government that they didn't join the sanctions and against Russia, and they didn't join even the war with Ukraine. And many Georgians have participated and traveled to Ukraine to fight against Russia there. But for the Georgian government, the economy of the country is depending on Russia, on everything mostly. Like anything is related to the food industry, the wheat, as I explained in the video that we published 2 weeks ago, that yeah, the country is depending on Russia mainly on everything. And Georgia is a small country. They didn't, the government doesn't develop the country in a way that it can generate some resources or some other income for the people. So it become independent, not dependent on Russia. So Georgia is dependent on Russia on building materials, on steel, on iron, on gas, on petrol, all of this stuff. So it's not, they, I think they have done better that they didn't join the sanctions and they didn't have this strong tune and against Russia. Yeah, I know the 20% of the country is occupied by Russia, but yet still this government and these people need to eat, need to find some income, need to live. And the country is very small, like it's it's maybe 10 times smaller than Ukraine. It is maybe, I think the whole country like the same size as the Georgia, as the same size as the Donbass region, which is Putin now occupied. So when you find your country in this as this small and it doesn't have enough resources to fight or to resist against a huge army like Russia, yeah, you should think twice before joining this sanction or having this high tone against Putin or against Russia. Because yet Georgia, yeah, Georgia hopes to join the NATO and it hopes to join the EU, but yet it's not a member of the NATO. It's not a member of the EU, which is, yeah, it's not supporting. It means that if Putin decided to invade Georgia, he will just take it in, as he did in 2008. He will just we will find the tanks on Tbilisi by in 6 hours or in 10 hours. Small country and the army is not huge, and even the military industry is not big as Ukraine. You know, Ukrainian army is one of the biggest in Europe, and yet they are still fighting and resisting the Russians' operations in the east of Ukraine. So I think yes, Georgian authority have done great job that they didn't join the EU sanctions or they didn't have this high tone against or threats against Russia or Putin. I understand that the people are not satisfied with that, but this is the fact. They should accept the fact that it was better for them and still better that they don't get involved against Russia in any way, unless until this regime, the Russian regime, collapse, because it's a dictatorship and dictatorship will not live forever, even if they just, the world is more globalized now and these people, the Russian people, still see the world how the people live in other countries and how they have a life and freedom, and they will not accept that to have this regime forever. So I believe it's in no long time this regime will collapse and the people will free themselves. But yet, it's well, until it's not until this happens, you shouldn't just get to be against Putin or Russia if you are a small country, especially when you have a history of wars and you tried before in 2008 and you failed to defend the country and the tanks just was like 20 kilometers from Tbilisi. So yeah, I think Georgian government have done a great job on that term, and I believe if they continue to do that, this will help them survive the next depreciation and inflation which is going on now in the world because of this war. And I think, guys, that's it. We have completed 30 minutes of live streaming. I have answered some of your questions, and I hope this was helpful. Uh, I will see you guys next Thursday on 13 GMT. Maybe next time we'll try. If you have a comment, like I can wait for a minute or two. If you have a request to change this time because it's not a good timing for this live stream. I have no problem to change it. Maybe we'll do it a bit late after the working hours or something. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? Is it a good idea to change the timing of this live stream or not? Thank you for watching, and I wish you a very good day.